Hello, my amazing artist. Let's learn how to make implied texture. In this video, you will learn how to make texture rubbings. You will need a paper, crayons with no wrapper, and a few items that have texture. I'm going to use a leaf. To begin, choose one item and surface and put it underneath your paper. I like to think that I am tucking it into bed and the paper is its blanket. Now use your fingers to feel where it is under your paper. Lay your crayon down and take your fingers and pinch your crayon and rub it. My other hand is my helper hand to help hold down the paper, and my worker hand is pinching the crayon and rubbing the paper. You may need to change the direction you are coloring and you can rub more, or choose another item and keep trying. I'm going slow and I'm pressing really hard with my crayon, and my helper hand is pressing really hard to hold down that paper. In the art room, you may use a texture rubbing plate. That is what this is. So you do the same strategy, put it under your paper, pinch your crayon, and start rubbing. No matter what you do today, what we are making is a rubbing of a material or item that has texture. So this is an implied texture. These texture rubbings are called implied textures because if I take my finger and touch the rubbing, I don't feel the texture of the leaf. Instead, I look at it and I imagine what it would feel like if I could actually touch the leaf. So every texture rubbing is implied texture because you look at it and you imagine what it would feel like if you could actually touch that object or item that made the texture rubbing. Here is another fun idea you might want to try. Look at the bottom of your shoe. All of our shoes have different textures. So if you're feeling daring, take your shoe off and try to rub and make a texture rubbing of the bottom of your shoe on your paper. Today, I challenge you to look around your environment and find different textures. It could be textures inside the classroom or outside in the garden area. When we are finding materials to make rubbings of, we have to be respectful of nature. So if you want to take a texture rubbing of a leaf, it has to be a leaf that has fallen off of a tree or a plant and is on the ground. Here are some examples of students going on their texture hunt. Hopefully these give you some inspiration for what you can do today while you are making your implied texture rubbings. Now let's transform our texture rubbings. So one idea is to add watercolor paint on top. And look, what do you notice about the crayon? Has the crayon moved? Has the crayon changed? No, this is because crayon and watercolor do not mix. This in art we call a resist. So the oil in the crayon and the water in the watercolor, they don't like each other. They do not mix. And it causes the crayon to stay where it is and for the watercolor to move around the crayon, and we call this a resist. So I hope you have fun with this today. I encourage you to experiment and see what it is like to add watercolor on top of crayon. Watch my other videos to learn other painting techniques you can add on top of texture rubbings. Have fun!